Hi, everyone. This is Pinar Ormeci again. I'm the CEO of Timus Networks. And today, I actually have a fellow vendor in the MSP space with me instead of a MSP CEO or founder. Hi, Carlson. How are you?
Hi, nice seeing you again, and thanks for bringing me on the podcast to kind of meet your team and all your partners out there.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So Carlson is the CEO of Cork. And Carlson, tell me a bit more about Cork. What do you guys do?
Yeah, well, it's probably most interesting. I mean, most people ask about like, what the heck is Cork, right? From a Cork perspective, is a quirky name, and why we felt that way is because one of the things that we focus on time on is really creating a cyber warranty coverage that's exclusively for the channel. What I mean by that is MSP can now sell and provide financial coverage for the client in the case of a cyber attack. I mean, that is a really unique product we created. And more than anything else, I think there's a lot of discussion, you and I have been talking about, right? You spend most of your day on the left of the boom, on the pre-attack, on the prevention side. And then when we took a look at step back and what it has been missing in the channel business is the write-up boom. What tools is there? And that's typically today is covered by a lot of cyber insurance company who's not really, not necessarily understand how the channel business works. And for us, what's unique about this is that we have created a product where the channel partner, the MSP themselves, can actually take ownership of this continued relationship with their client, but still be able to offer them that financial coverage in the case that it really becomes a right of boom. So now you really got the left of boom, the prevention, and the right of boom, the recovery side of the equation coming together in one place.
Yeah. No, it is so true. It's almost, our company, Timus and Cork, are obviously super complementary to each other, right? If you will, they're almost different sides of the same coin because, like you said, we are preventing things on the left of boom, but God forbid, obviously in this field, nothing is certain 100%. If something does happen, then the MSPs would have you
Yeah.
to handle the right of boom side.
Yeah, no, it's also interesting, right? Because as we kind of got into this journey about, it's almost like been a year, since year plus that I've been in this journey and been in market for about 6 months. One thing that we find most interesting is that, especially in the channel side, there's a almost like there's very little trust between the MSP community and the insurance folks. And then as I got digging deeper in that world, is that, people who are focused on the financial recovery side equation, they built algorithm to deny a claim, right? And the last thing you want to have as an MSP is that your client make a claim and then the claiming party claims that you're the reason why this happens, right? So when we took this approach, we go, how do we break this myth, right? If you take a look at the problem, is there's really quite three major pieces for us. This is unique. One is today the underwriting process, purely from a financial standpoint. These policies are written by a piece of paper. And it's kind of crazy, right? If you think about it, that the digital and cyberspace is dynamic. It changes on a daily basis. And every second something happens, right? And then they get underwrite by filling out the survey form. So now the MSP are legally bind to say, did I fill this box right? And that's going to become an angle for denial. That's always one piece. Second thing is what is interesting is that there's never a relationship between the financial recovery, the right of boom folks to the MSP themselves. What I mean by that is the moment that the form is filled out, you'll never hear from them for another year. Right. So what if something changed and the environment changed at that time? How are they going to help you to make sure this, the attack doesn't happen? And third, at the end of the day, even if there's a partnership there, the MSP cannot benefit from a financial perspective because you require a brokerage license. So how we gone about solving this problem was extremely unique, right? And is that one is we took the approach is look, every MSP have their own security stack, right? They have the preference of what works best. How do they get the best combination for the stack, more specific with the client? We take a really simple approach. We attach it right to the security environment and say, look, if you have these key element in place, including security sign on, backup, remote monitoring management, even EDR, some of the basic tool in place, we will use those integration to underwrite your clients. And that's done within 5 minutes. That's a really unique way we look at it. So it solves you having to fill out forms. With that MSP said, do I need to fill out a form? Sure, but we're not going to use that to under a risk. The second piece that we actually, from that point on forward, we have a continuous monitoring approach where we're actually helping MSP to say, hey, by the way, think of like your car, right? Having a dashboard, a check engine light. something is not working. For example, somebody turn off your multi-factor authentication.
Mm-hmm.
Check engine light comes in, right? I better go and turn it back on. So things like that. This is kind of where we play an interesting role. So we're continuing helping the MSP to fortify the environment.
Yeah.
Why do we think? And then the third piece is because it is a unique product that is a warranty, very similar to think of Apple Care. It can be resold through the MSP channel without having a brokerage license.
Yeah.
Why did we gone about the way doing this way? Because at the end, not you never having a, let's say, warranty and even insurance coverage, you never want to use it. When that happens, everybody's unhappy. So our goal is really being able to push to the left to say, okay, do you have the right tools in place? If something happens, let me alert you. Check engine light, put oil in the engine so it doesn't blow up on you. For us, that's really the goal for our platform, and the approach is, it's like, I'll take an example, like this week there's one of the big incident, one of the big vendor, right? Everybody was starting to do patching and update. And right away our team can see, for the partners being onboarded, which endpoint has not been patched and update as of the morning of the patch release. So we proactively send a notification to the team. Here's all the endpoints that you need to make sure they've been patched. We pick up the phone and let them notify the MSP. And we found various feedback, right? Folks says, I didn't even know I have these endpoints. Or for that matter, they will go, no, I'm pretty sure we did it. Or thank you for the note. And overall, at the end of that 24, just nonstop calling everybody, we finding this overwhelming feedback. It's like, wow, I would never thought a warranty or insurance company will pick up the phone and call me to tell me that I need to, help me this. And I say, my analogy is this: it's simple, right? Everybody has smart lock at the house. Can you imagine when your smart lock even get compromised, got vulnerability there? Would you ever imagine getting a call from your home insurance agent say, hey, by the way, Pinar, you need to upgrade your password lock because you're going to get, no, you never get that. But for us, it's a very different thing, right? We're built for the community. We want the MSP to prevent and protect that client. And then to me, that's really the importance of when we're partnering with, company like yours to say, okay, how do we make sure we never get to that point? Now, if we ever get due, the warranty kicks in, they get paid, MSP get paid, the client gets paid, and everybody's happy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, obviously, the event that you mentioned, one hopes that these type of things never happen, but at the same time, when they do happen, it's a wake-up call yet again, right? Like how important cybersecurity is, and how you can really have no luxury to sleep or be complacent, because the bad actors are never. So in our case as well, for example, one of the things that's happened to us, obviously we're a zero trust network security solution, and what we do is we have a dedicated gateway between the client's endpoints and the corporate network, right? And we are a channel-only company as well, and usually MSPs not only sell our solution to their endpoints, but we are also a great solution for the MSPs to protect their own tools like the RMM, the PSA, the documentation tools, because two things, right? One is obviously in the remote access. Through the zero trust verification, you make sure the users are who they say they are, but we don't stop there. The other thing, and in this case, actually, a lot of the MSPs came to us with this specific need, is that we have a dedicated gateway with a static, never shared IP address. So a lot of our MSP partners and their clients are able to lock access to their tools using whitelisting the static IP that we have. So if a bad actor, even they steal all the credentials, even if they bypass the authentication and so on, if they are not coming from the single point of entry, which is the Timus Cloud Firewall, they will not be able to access any of the MSP tools or the client SaaS apps like the Microsoft 365 or the Workspace. But yeah, so this was actually it's a wake-up call. Obviously, it can happen to anyone, any vendor, but it just shows that we live in risk economy.
Well, I mean, look, I think we probably read enough report, right? I see this all the time. It's interesting that you brought that up. It's like, it is crazy how the world is like, the amount of attack that's occurring, right? I think we've seen statistics that where every 39 seconds, a successful attack occur with a small, medium business. That number is going to go down because AI, right? AI, the bad actors are getting really good with it. You take a look at it. I was actually in a panel a couple of weeks back. We talked about generative AI, and I was on the panel with one one of the I think it's cyber expert from the FBI.
Yeah.
He said it is insane how generative AI, how bad actors are using that to create communication that is more
So real, right? Yeah.
And that's actually increasing that success and the attack rate, which
Yeah.
is, I mean, if you think those number, you got to be so vigilant to make sure your door locked once, but if not having a second padlock in place. It kind of
Yeah,
like,
I mean, Carlson, like, the bad actors.
yeah.
Yeah. So all you need to do is, generative AI, like have some API to the LinkedIn or something, and then you just do some type of social engineering on LinkedIn. You learn who the employees are at the company, and then voila, like with the generative AI, you write a like completely customized email to phish that user.
Yep.
And you all heard about obviously that deepfake CFO, right? Like who embezzled the $25 million. It's really going places, but thankfully, with companies like ours and definitely yours, we are also advancing on the good guys side.
I always ask this question, like, are the good guy like us, or are we advancing faster than the bad guy, right? Because it was interesting. That's the one thing that I found myself always having that conversation is the starting point has to be the left of boom world had to come together, the right of boom world. Because to me today, if you're purely just looking at the left of boom of the equation, you can only reduce the probability of an attack. That's it. Like that's as much as you can claim, right? 100%. And if for the 1% incident, it popped, right? Then it becomes the right of boom, the financial side of the equation for recovery.
Yeah.
Nor can the right side of the equation stand alone to say, I can prevent and recover everything, because let's face it, right? Which is statistically only on average, only 60% of the claims are paid.
Yeah.
Well, now, why is that? Because I think the two worlds are incentivized differently, right? One is incentivized by selling more product that minimize the probability of attack. Mm-hmm. The other side of the world is about minimizing the claim to pay out to maximize the profit. I mean, it's a crazy thought, right? As I learned about it. And when we put together, kind of like, wait a minute, like this is crazy, right? And that's why rate keeps going up, because loss probability is driven by paper form. So when we kind of started thinking like, well, what if, because we came from the technology in the MSP space, we go, well, what if you create a company that, yes, you're focused on recovery, but we're incentivized by the prevention. And all of a sudden, that's why we're having these conversations between the left and the right of boom of the attack to say, okay, how do we make sure that folks are using a solution like Timus to have the extra padlock in the house so that it doesn't happen? Because if it doesn't happen, guess what happened? I win, MSP win, and the client wins, because nobody wins when an attack has occurred. So it's a very unique space we're stepping into. And this has been one of the things we've been pushing. Like, we're on constant conversation with a lot of the large cyber carrier, and they now starting to raise interest in what we're doing. Like, wait a minute, this is really different. We're not, you guys are not doing a traditional way. I go, because traditional way is taking an analog methodology to underwrite a digital environment. It will never work. There's no algorithm was to make that ever work. I'm sorry, like you said, the incident happened early this week. I guarantee you their survey form for underwriting is not changed within the second. It's still the same stupid form that you fill out. I hate to say it, right? It's the same form that everybody filled out. And different carriers, different form. I'm not saying that's not, but it's like that has to change. And I think that's kind of the mission that we're all in, right?
Yeah, I mean, from our perspective as well, what we see is like, we are here to protect the modern workforce, right? Where now the employees are working from anywhere. I was yesterday talking with someone who was working from Mallorca. So like what we try to do is we literally are on a mission to protect companies and employees wherever they are working from with whatever device. And then God forbid, though, to your point, nothing is 100%. Something does happen. Cork is there to make sure that they are still taken care of on the right of boom.
And I think that's
right of boom. Sorry, Carlson, go ahead.
No, I think this is kind of, I find it so fun, right? And this, like, it's rarely do we have these type of conversation, but it's always like when you see MSP, like when they had live, like, wow, this is great, right? Now I don't have to worry about having that awkward conversation if something does happen. It's almost like it's strange, right? Like everybody, when you go buy a car and vehicle today, right? You buy a car, it comes with a warranty by default. Like, can you and you think about that, right? That warranty warns the performance of the vehicle, the engine is working, and comes to check engine light. Then you might go buy car insurance in case of third-party damages, right? If you think about that, that's the word I get asked a lot. Do you need cyber insurance or a cyber warranty? No, they're like analogous to car warranty and car insurance. So this is kind of the uniqueness where we can start packaging with the right type of, security, zero trust security environment, and a level of warranty, so that as MSP goes out, they can offer more value to the product, to the client.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then they get, so buy your insurance. Not going to stop you, and that's, people want coverage beyond just the basic, right?
Yeah, so this was great, Carlson. So one last question I have for you is, I know you're going to be at Right of Boom. We're going to be at Right of Boom. So which booth are you? I think we're at 216.
I know we're in one of the booth. I'm terrible member, so I'm sure you'll find it with the big orange sign. I think we're like the only company with a bright orange. Everyone else is probably blue and gray. So you'll find us out there.
That's actually a great differentiator. But so to all our MSP friends, visit us at Right of Boom in Las Vegas. Both Carlson and I will be there in person. We will have booths there. So thanks so much, Carlson, for joining, and I'll see you at Right of Boom.
I'll see you. Okay. All right.
Bye.
Bye.